back with your favorite Q&As live stream. So we'll see how many people are joining. 2 are already here. So guys, if you have any questions, feel free to ask anything about moving to the Czech Republic or living here. So anything related to visas, extensions, starting a business, finding a place to live, getting health insurance, anything along these lines. And we'll see. Usually in the beginning, it's like not too many questions, not too many people watching, but after the first 2 minutes, people start actually joining and writing the questions into the chat, so it becomes more interesting for everyone. Hi Arvinda, I'm good. How are you? This lovely April Monday. Muhammad Abbas, hello sir. Hello Muhammad, thank you for joining. Thank you all guys for joining. Thank you all guys. Thank you all guys. I don't know. Thank you all guys for joining. And please ask your questions. Haruna Mohammed, how are you? I'm good. How are you, Haruna? These are good like warm-up questions. How are you, sir? But please ask some topic-related questions as well. Sir, I live in Dubai. That's also not a question. Questions usually work better because then I have something to talk about. I've never been to Dubai, so I cannot even share my opinion about it. Mugwane Zahariet, hi Jan, hi. Yeah, sorry guys. Please, some questions. Otherwise, I will be just doing this weird stuff here. It might be like entertaining for me, but I'm not sure how much entertaining it is for you. So, guys, please start asking questions other than how am I? Because I'm good. Okay, Harshal Raut. Hello, it's my Harsh from Kuwait here. I can submit my visa file as I have not completed 2 years, but I already got my 2-year work permit from Czech Republic. What to do next? Guide me. Well, it depends on where you're from. If you are, say, from India, but you don't live in India, you live in Kuwait, then you can only submit your visa application for a Czech visa in India, in the country of origin, or in the country where you have been living for more than 2 years, which would be Kuwait. But if you haven't been there living for more than 2 years, you cannot submit the application there. You cannot really submit it in India either. So, unfortunately, not much you could do other than wait to reach 2 years. And most likely anyway, the work permit you got will be useless anyway. So, guys, I repeat it every single live stream I do. Don't pay anyone to give you a work permit if you're from like India, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, Pakistan, or anywhere in that area. 99% of cases you will be scammed and you will never come to the Czech Republic. There are cases where it actually happens, but I would say like 1 out of 100. So save your money, go somewhere else. And I don't mean it in a bad way. I actually am trying to protect you from scammers, because that's like getting a Czech visa or Czech residence permit as an Indian or Bangladeshi, Sri Lankan, all there. That's very, very difficult. And the chances are very, very low. So if someone offers you work permit, most likely you'll just pay the money and you will never come here. So yeah, Muhammad Abbas. Sir, I applied for work visa from Czech Republic last 4 months, but no visa. So did you mean, or do you mean that you applied, it's already in processing and you've been waiting 4 months, or that you haven't even got an appointment for 4 months? Because that would be more likely, because that's what I'm talking here about the whole time. That even if you have a work permit or employment contract or whatever, you can never use it because there are no available appointments in some countries. But let me know what you meant exactly. Arvinda, Jan, my consultancy offered a German chicken farm job. Should I get visa for this job? Give me some tips. I know it's not about Czech, but I have you only for genuine answers. Well, my genuine answer is that I have no idea how it works in Germany. So Well, chicken farm, I can also imagine that it will be pretty brutal work. Like, I don't think the chickens are there to like have fun. So that would be first thing to consider if you want to like be killing chickens every day and like see them be killed. Of course, might be like an organic farm or something, and they are like living well and like running freely. But I probably don't expect that. So that would be my first consideration. Second is, what's your long-term plan? So you should definitely ask questions like, okay, I got this job for a year, I will get this type of residence permit. What I will do after that? Can I extend it? Can I switch to something else? Because that's very important. For example, a lot of people on my live streams ask about the seasonal work visa for the Czech Republic, because someone tells them, yeah, it doesn't matter, you get there and you switch to something else, but you cannot switch to anything else from the seasonal work. You can do a blue card, but that's super difficult. So you cannot basically switch to anything else. So you get here for 9 months if you already get here, which I would say 99% will never get here anyway. But if you already get here, you've been promised to switch to something else, but you actually cannot. So you'll have to leave and you're like in square one just a year later. So these would be questions I would be asking the German side, and ideally not just that person or that company that got you the job offer, but also some immigration lawyer, or maybe if they have any like governmental place where you can ask. I would definitely be asking these kind of questions. Amerikánec, Ivan, нет. Já nie z Ameriky, já z Čechy. České republiky. Ivan, Pepuch. I don't know what it means. Probably it's some curse, but whatever. Okay, back. Nurhayati Arhayan. Weather's nice in Prague today. Woo! Loving the sun. Question. I've moved out of the hotel and moved to an apartment. I understand I need to inform the MOI, but what about the local police? That's a good question. Definitely, like, you should have reported to the foreign police within 3 days, but probably the hotel did it for you. So now you just need to change the address at the Ministry of the Interior. The police does not really need to know about that. They will know from the system of the Ministry of the Interior. Haruna Mohammed, hello, say hi, how can I check if I can get an appointment in Qatar? Ideally, first of all, you need to know what exactly you will be applying for, because there is no work permit visa, okay? First of all, you need to know the terms. So will you be applying for an employee card? Will you be applying for a blue card? Will you be applying through some governmental programs or not? Will you be applying for a long-term visa with a seasonal work purpose of stay? You need to know exactly, not you will get a work permit visa, because there's nothing like that, and that can mean whatever, and it means nothing. So first thing, clarify what exactly you will be applying for. Second, check with the embassy. First, definitely the website to see if there are any appointments available and what is the scheduling system. And then you could potentially ask the embassy via email or something, but that would be the last only the last thing to do. Pravin Dangar, hi Pravin. Nurhayati, perfect. Thank you for your response. My pleasure. Maybe one more thing. It depends on what you came here for under, or what you came here under, what kind of visa or residence permit. You should definitely finish everything. So if you came under an employee card, for example, or any type of residence permit, and you don't have the card yet, then don't report the address change. Finish the process completely under the address you used for your application, and then change the address. Because if you do it in the middle of the process, that could actually not be good. Or it could actually be not good. Haruma Mohammed. Hello, sir. How can I check if I can get an appointment? I've just answered that. Harshal Raut, so it's compulsory to be 2 years stay for all type of visas or 270 days work permit. Can I go without completing 2 years in Kuwait? Yeah, it's for all long-term visas or long-term residence permits. You can only apply in the country of origin or in the country where you have been residing for more than 2 years. Arvinda, Jan, with your office, can I get any work permit through your office? Guys, you cannot. You cannot because Arvinda sounds Indian. If you're Indian, if you're in India, or if you have to apply in India, whatever you will get, you will hardly get into the Czech Republic because there are quotas and the quotas are very low. The waiting times are super long. And for some visas or some ways, there are no appointments at all. So we don't provide any work permits or whatever that means, like employment contracts, because you will never be able to use them. So that would be scamming you anyway, you know? We don't do things where we know that there is no chance for success or where the chance of success is very low. So we often also refuse clients. We refuse to work with some people, not because we don't want to help, but because we know that we cannot really help. And that it will take so much time, so much energy, so much money, and that will lead nowhere. So we don't do that. So we don't provide any work permits or any employment contracts or anything. And especially not to countries like India, Pakistan, or Sri Lanka, or Nepal, or anywhere there, because the chances of you actually getting some visa based on that are very close to zero. Pravin, sir, I had joined the job of a truck driver and now I have to change my employer, but my license has not been made yet. Will there be any problem in changing it due to this? That's a pretty complex question because I don't know what job you did before. I don't know what the new company is, how they deal with things and everything. So one thing is that the job advertisement they have to post for you, it depends on what it will say. If it says he needs to have or she needs to have, I don't know, he needs to have a Czech driver's license, then if you don't have it, you're not meeting the conditions, and that could be potentially a reason for the ministry to deny the application. Also, there are some things that don't have to be in the job advertisement, but you still need to meet them. Like if you wanted to switch to a doctor's position, then you need to be a doctor. So the ministry, even if you gave them all the documents to change the employer and everything was fine, like on paper, it would not be fine because you're not a doctor. So it's very hard for me to say if it's gonna be any problem or not, because it depends on so many factors. So that should be a question for someone who will be helping you with the change of employer. Nur Hayati, I'm here under the employee card and I've received my card from MOI. Thanks for checking. Yeah, so yeah, then just report it. They will change it in the system and you're good. Shezer Haroon, why they called for second interviews? Their embassy already decided decision. If they called you for a second interview, you're not denied yet, which is good. On the other hand, there is some problem with your application. So that's not the good news. So on the other hand, if they could or wanted to deny the application right away, they would have done it already. So they need more information. So it depends on what they found in your application or what did you say during your first interview. And based on the second one, they will decide either to approve it pretty swiftly or deny it pretty swiftly, I would say. Zdraví, I have no idea what you write in there. Arvinda, what services your company provides? Can you please explain about your company office? Of course. We basically help people move to the Czech Republic. We help with various different types of visas, from students, but that has some rules, to business visas, employee cards, blue cards, temporary residence permits, permanent residence permits, all the extensions. We can help you find accommodation. We can help you get insurance, help you start a business in the Czech Republic, all these kind of things. But the thing there is that Czech immigration very much depends on your nationality. If you're an American, Canadian, Australian, then any kind of visa will be easier for you. If you are an Indian, Pakistani, any African country, basically, the chances of you getting a visa for the Czech Republic are lower and lower and lower. And in some cases, for some types of visas, they're 0% chance. So it depends very much on where are you from. It's not like kind of like you said that you cannot help me and you say that you help with visas, but in some embassies, some nationalities, it's just impossible because the Czech government does not want some type of, I don't want to say like some type of people, but in the meaning of the nationality combined with the type of visa. Those are two things that play a major role there. Nurhayati, next question. My employee card is valid till March 2027. So when I apply for long-term family reunification residence permit for my hubby and daughter, they will be given the same validity. Yes, but you can only apply for a long-term residence permits after you've been here for 6 months. So then it will take another couple months to get it approved. So at the end, they will probably just like get a year or something, but that will match the validity of your card, yes. Or at least should. Why did the visa guy just instantly reject my visa? No reason. Depends on what visa. If it was a short-term visa, because long-term visas cannot be, they are not decided by the embassy, so they cannot deny it right away. But if it was a short-term visa, I guess they had some reason or they had no reasons at all. They can do that, so they did that probably. That's probably the most I can tell you without knowing anything about your situation. Water Lily Chua, Saryan, is it easy to apply for a non-dual employee card if I got an employer and work as a caregiver and I'm Taiwanese but living in the Philippines? Ooh. Well, now it depends, Water Lily. Generally, if you have free access to the labor market, the whole process is a bit easier for you and for your employer as well. But then in this case, I would probably say it depends on who is the employer, because caregiver, that sounds to me like it might be a private person that someone will hire you to take care of their mother or something. And that's possible. We've done it before for an employee card, but never for the dual one, because in that case might be, but it should work out. It might just be more work because maybe they could invite you for an additional interview, or they might invite your employer for an interview to explain. But technically it should be doable. And should my Nurhayati, and should my hubby and daughter 7 years old buy health insurance for the same period based on what is approved by MOI, say till March, the same way as my employee card validity? Yeah, basically when they get approved, if they get approved, the embassy will send you an email saying your residence permits were approved until this date, have health insurance valid for the same period of time. So yeah, you will get the instructions from the embassy. Praveen, how much time does it take to get a visa and how much money should be there in a bank account? Family reunification visa. If it's a family reunification visa, which does not allow your spouse to work here, then you need to have equivalent to 120,000 crowns. Officially, the approval time is 60 to 90 days. In real life, usually as well, but then it depends on the situation, because some family reunification visas have been denied by the ministry recently. Not really many, or maybe none of our clients, but I've seen it many times recently in the last couple months, that if the couple has not been living together for a couple of years, like you are here but your spouse has been in the home country for the last 5 years and you visited each other once or twice, then the ministry could think that you're not a real couple and they could deny the application. And why I say this is that they can also invite them for an interview or an additional interview. They might request some additional documents proving your actual marriage, not just the marriage certificate. So it might potentially take longer, but generally 60 to 90 days. Shazer Haroon, they asked me for bank statements from the date of first interview. Also, they concerned about my study gap, but that I give solid reason. Yeah, so if they requested a new bank statement, they will be looking for if you've always had the money there, or if you withdrew the money and now you deposited it again just because they wanted that. If you did this, then that will be denied. If you had the money there the whole time, the whole approval process, you should be fine. Arvinda, I would suggest my friends who are looking for student visa in Czech, Jan, you're most genuine. Thanks for your support. Till now, Jan, I think I'm not going to come to your live stream because I already stopped Czech application. Yeah, well, I'm sorry to hear that. On the other hand, it's better than to like keeping your hopes high because if it's not the situation, I don't wanna say it is, you know. I will not be telling you that, okay, yeah, you will get a visa from India, yeah, get your work permit, you can find a way. If it's not like that, maybe it will change in the future, so you can still stay subscribed in case there might be any changes in the future, but as of now, that's how it is. And yeah, of course, if you recommend someone, please do. I'll be happy. RJ, I know you've answered this before, but refresh my memory. It's better to begin freelance visa process while in the country or before coming? Well, I would need to know a bit more about you and your situation to be able to answer that properly. But let's assume you have the right to come here without a visa, because for example, like many of the like viewers of the live stream today are from India or around there, and they cannot even come here without a visa, so they could not come and then start the process because it's just not possible. So let's assume you are an American, then, so that's first thing. It depends on your nationality. Some nationalities cannot even come here without a visa. Second, depends on what's your business plan. Because if you come here as an English teacher and you are already a teacher and you can get a job in advance, then it's definitely better to start in advance. At least prepare everything, so when you come to Europe, you can go to some Czech embassy as soon as possible, like latest within the first month, and submit your application. Or potentially, maybe even better, and definitely how it should be done in the future, is that you will be able to even apply to in the country of origin, and you will only come here once the visa is approved. Yeah, that's probably it. If your business plan is something more complicated than teaching English, let's say you wanted to open something physical, some cafe or restaurant or shop or something, then the preparations themselves will take months and months and months. So you would definitely not make it within the 90 days. So this is probably what I can do, what I can say. Nurhati, thank you, Aram, for all your responses and support as always. My pleasure. Muhammad Merey. Hi, Jan. What about the translation documents from Arabic to Czech? Embassy said it should translate it by a sworn translator in the Czech Republic, and did accept the translator from Syria. Well, yeah, that's how it is. All the documents should be translated by a Czech court-approved translator. They also must have the previous verifications if they're required. So apostille or super legalization, and then the official translation into Czech. We don't do translations separately as like a separate service, let's say, that you would send us your documents, we would translate it. We do it, but only for clients who do the whole process with us. So if you're doing a family reunification visa with us, you send the marriage certificate and the criminal check to our office, we get it translated and we send it back. But only if you work with us for the whole process. RJ, I'm from the US, so hopefully I answered the question. Let's see, there are so many questions and it's been 25 minutes already. So Virinci Desmur, I cannot pronounce the second name, but Virinci will be the last question I answer, okay? So let's go back and see. Pradeep, sir, can I convert Czech Republic season work visa to work permit, or should I travel to Poland or Portugal? I mentioned that previously in this live stream. You cannot convert the seasonal work visa to anything in the Czech Republic. So yeah. I used some of the visa less time already this year to visit Prague, make sure I like it. My degree is in education, so I'd like to teach, have B1 level in Czech. Wow, you don't live here and you have B1 level of Czech already. That's admirable. A lot of people don't speak B1 even like after 10 years of living here. So yeah, if you want to teach, the most important, there are two things that are super important for applying in the US or applying right after you come here. First, have some jobs lined up. That's very first thing, because without that, if you go to an embassy and say, hey, give me visa, but I don't have any clients or any leads, so just give me the visa, I'll figure it out later. That's most likely not gonna work. It might. We've seen cases like that, but I would definitely not rely on that. And second thing is, you need to have accommodation arranged at least for full 1 year in advance if you want to get the visa for full 1 year. And that's also very difficult to do if you're not here. But if you can sort these two things out, then might be even best to either apply in the US before you come here, or plan everything the way that you apply like right after you come to Europe. Water Lily, how can I get in touch with you, Sir Jan, and need your immigration assistant how to apply for a non-Yulu employment card so that I can submit in the Czech embassy in Manila with my employer? The best would be go to my profile somewhere. I don't know. I still don't know where you have to click, but click something and you will get to my profile on YouTube, and there is a link for a form, contact form, which you can fill in, or just go to movetoprague.com and any of the web forms there or any of the contact details there are here for you, and we'll be happy to help. Dhidut, hi sir. How regularly? I regularly watch your videos and have your guidance. Thank you so much for the genuine guidance always. I want to know that my wife wants to pursue bachelor's at age 35. A justifiable profile possible for Czech? Potentially yes, but you need to see the long kind of game there, because one of the questions will be like, why are you studying now? And why didn't you study like 10 years ago? And why in the Czech Republic? Why don't you study in your home country or somewhere else? So it's technically possible, but you would need to have super strong story. And the last question, as I mentioned, Virinci, any major positive, negative changes happened this year for employee card holder? Like, no, not for you. Not for you, unfortunately. There have been some major changes. Like the new nationalities that were added to the free access to the Czech labor market, Mexico and Brazil. Already those who were there, that was what? No, sorry. Mexico and Brazil are digital nomad visa. The new country in... Anyway, there are 10 countries that have free access to the Czech labor market. One of them was added this year, so that was definitely a big change there. The only thing now is maybe, Virinci, that when you're changing employers, your employers still, if you have the standard employee card, your employers still need to advertise the position, but they don't need to wait for 30 days or anything like that. You can use the vacancy number right away, basically. So that's a great change and simplifies the changing of employer pretty much. So that would be probably that. Let's see if I can briefly comment on on Arvinda RJ. but then I'll finish in the live stream. Study. Arvinda, maybe one quick answer to this. You can potentially come here as a student and then switch to an employee card, but I would definitely not make it the main plan. I would definitely try to come here to study and finish the studies. It really gives you plenty of benefits when you finish your studies and also during the studies, because you can work freely, for example, as a student. So you don't need to have any employee card or anything like that. Second thing is that many people do this and it's basically abusing the system. Like, you get a student visa because it's still possible, and then within your first year or even second year, whatever, you switch to an employee card, and the ministry sees that. They might not see that right away, but they see it in the yearly statistics, all that, and then they change the rules. So if more people do this, harder the rules will be for new students, and maybe new students will be getting denied because the government will think that they're the same as all the other people who just like got the student visa because they couldn't get the employee card, and then as soon as they could switch to the employee card, they did. So I would only recommend coming here to study, if you really want to study and finish the school. A, plenty of benefits. B, more real story and not spoiling the system for everyone coming after you. At Jay, thank you for your help. I have B1 level because I dated Czech guy for a long time. Okay, that explains. That explains, even though I'm still surprised that the guy didn't want to speak English with you, and so it was the other way around, because that's usually the problem, that they want to practice English with you. And this is good. That's good way to learn. Still have many Czech friends and love the language. Maybe using your company when the time comes. We'll be happy to help. If you find a new partner, then the partnership visa is the best. And we'll be happy to help there. If not, teaching English is the second easiest. So guys, thank you very much for being here with me today, for asking your questions. And I will see you again Thursday, Monday, until the end of the world. Bye bye, guys. Good night.